Hello, everyone. It's your host, Januska Jules. Welcome to another episode of Roots and Riches, where we dig into your roots, discover your riches, and transform your future. I'm back from my hiatus. I spent some time away for a bit. I took some time to travel with my family. We were in Kenya and Tanzania. I hope to share that experience with you guys in a later podcast, but for today, we're diving deep into fashion. Today on Roots and Riches, I'm thrilled to welcome Johanssen, Grandoit and Peniel Scantlebury, the owners and CEO of Positive Koulours, a clothing brand that embodies unity and self expression. Native Brooklynites raised by Haitian parents, their lifelong passion for fashion has led them down the path of creating their own clothing brand. Founded in the wake of George Floyd's passing, the brand was created to promote unity and celebrate diversity. Inspired by the words of the legendary designer Yves Saint Laurent, fashion's fade, style is eternal. The brand aims to create pieces that leave a lasting impact, transcending trends and speaking to the soul. So join me now as I speak to Joe and Peniel, and they share their journey and insight on creating a fashion brand that promotes unity and celebrates diversity. Okay, so Joe, Peniel, thank you for
Yeah.
being on my podcast. I'm really happy to have you guys on the show today. So I told the audience a little bit about you guys, but tell them a little bit about yourself, your story, what made you want to start this fashion brand. And I hope I pronounced it correctly.
You did pronounce it correctly. It is Positive Coolers. I'll start Pinel and then I'll let you like dive in.
All
Um,
right.
so basically, I was working on this brand during the whole Black Lives Matter movement, the whole George Floyd movement as well when he passed. And I was trying to figure out how I wanted to design it, how I wanted it to be. And my brother reached out to me and he was like, Pinel's trying to do the same exact thing. Why don't we collab and try to get something going? So I reached out to Pinel. We workshopped the name a bit. We already had the logo done, and from there, we just been continuing and going forward. I'll let Pinel continue his part.
Well, same situation basically. But what he didn't know is I struggled a lot because I didn't know the beginning of it. So when he came at the right time and he was like, "Yo, I have this brand. I need, I need your insight. I need your help. Can we work together?" And I saw like the game plan. And, like he just gave me a game plan. I don't even think he finished his sentence, and I was like, I was in. I was like, I'm in. No question. He was like, "Yo, you didn't finish." I was like, I'm in. I got it. So I saw the vision. As soon as I saw the logo, and then it went. It is from there where it's at right now. So I am enjoying the journey, and that's what it is.
So tell me a little bit about Couleur, because positive Couleur, someone who kind of speaks, knows more than one language and knows the background of the pronunciation. I kind of understand it, but I want your audience to understand it. So tell them a little bit about the name, how you came up with it, also your logo. Give us a sense of the background.
All right.
So so
I'll let you go, Pinel.
on the name, I think we had already positive colors,
Yes.
but I
So
think
I
it was.
originally had Positive Colors for the logo,
And
and then
then I came and I was like, "Yo, let's make it like a little French, a little Creole into it. Let's put our mix into it, so it'd be more us." And then we went with the name. It was at first I don't remember where it was before, but then it came to Cooler, and then I was like, and then I think Joe he mixed it up a little instead of putting like its real Creole term. He put just a K on it and then pronounced it as it is. And then it was like, okay, I was like, I like it, let's keep it, and that's it. So we wanted to put our Haitian roots in it because we have plans to do things in Haiti if we can and stuff like that. But we just wanted to put that. little Haitian French roots into it. You could go, Joe.
Add on. And so basically, when we created this brand, my goal was to kind of make these, as during that time of like the Black Lives Matter movement, I really couldn't do much in terms of being out there and protesting. And I felt like, this was my way of kind of giving back or trying to create something that will spread that message. And not only for Black lives, but just for everybody, just to coexist. And, you don't have to deal with the racism as Black people. And so that's really my goal in creating this brand. So the logo is a positive sign with multiple shades of the skin color. That just shows every color is positive, every color is beautiful, and just to show that unity. And our brand is also just what we're trying to do is just very unique, different pieces. Some of them actually do come from our culture, just like the cardigan I'm wearing actually comes from like the design of Caribbean bed sheets with the big patterns. So that's where I got the inspiration for this cardigan.
Okay, so for people who did not grow up in a Caribbean household, you say Caribbean bedsheet, that might make sense to some people, but it doesn't make sense to other people. Describe the Caribbean bedsheet and then how it morphed into the sweater and the scarf that I see Peniel is wearing.
Ooh, so when I was young, I remember my mom having this bed sheet that's like those real heavy winter bed sheets. They're real fluffy, but they always have like these floral or abstract patterns on them. And so, I was like, I kind of tried to make this similar to that, but without it being like just floral. I really wanted like an abstract version of it. So that's why it's so fluffy. Like it's like a blanket, literally, and it's probably close to the same. I won't say same material, but it resembles that material of that blanket.
So clearly, your Haitian background is influencing your current designs. Has it always been a great influence in the way you style yourself, the way you choose to get dressed? I mean, I gotta be honest. As someone who came from a Haitian background, and when I was a child, I remember how they used to dress me as a little girl with the pigtails and the big fluffy dresses. And I'm not even sure if that's still in style now for little kids, but my sense, Haitians to me, or in my Haitian family, I always remembered, especially when we were going out, they liked to dress to the nines, but they were always like flashy out there. They were coming. They were in the room. So was that part of your influence?
I'll let Peniel answer that. I'll let the stylist.
Yes, it was very much my influence. Haitian influence is basically for my styling for myself and for anybody. It's more of something that pops on you. It could be the littlest thing. I'll make it pop. Especially colors. If anybody knows about me, I love color, so I will put some color in there no matter what. Um, the Asian side, like my you know how Haitians are. You usually like you come when you go to a place, you got to smell good, look good. So that was embedded in me since I was little. So if I go anywhere, I have to look good and have to smell good. So yes, the Haitians it was very strong actually.
Like I introduced you guys. You guys are also both native Brooklynites. You were born and raised in Brooklyn. I clearly can see the New York influence in you guys. So how much of New York was also part of your fashion sense?
Whew. The New York side is well, it's embedded in us anyway. Like, well, we're like if right now I'm wearing Jordans and I'm basically wearing a preppy outfit, and that's like the side of New York of me and the Yankee cap. So I think it influenced anything in New York will stay. No matter where you go, it's gonna be embedded in you. So if you're raised there and you've seen like the people like in rap videos how they dress, and then you try to copy it a little bit. So my little influence was like, well, who was my influence at the time? I don't even want to say him, but Mr. Bentley. He was one of my one of my influences. Yeah, you see, no one thinks of it, but he was little. He was stylish, but out there at the same time. So he was at the same time everybody was dressing like very casual. He was in a suit, and it just popped in a hip hop way. He was very. I think he was very influential. No one gives him his flowers, but I give him his flowers for that one.
So, I mean, one of the things I always admire about both of y'all fashion senses, because it's not only your sense of style as New Yorkers, but what I find is your ability to put pieces together that seem very simple, but yet very fashion forward, very like what I don't think someone, and forgive me, people who are not, who are from Texas, where I live in Texas, I don't see people in Texas doing. And so your sense of fashion is to me very forward, but very New Yorker also in that uh, you put pieces together that are flawless, that are not necessarily brand name, but and it just, you can just kind of see it a mile away and say, oh, that's interesting. That's that's kind of a cool kind of urban type of look. Is my description of that sense is what is the type of fashion your brand is pushing forward. Is that a fair
Yes,
description?
yes, and no. So basically, when me and Peniel started Positive Coolers, our goal was to have like a very luxury, like contemporary brand, I would say. So
Yeah.
we really wanted it to like whatever piece we designed, we really wanted it to stand out. Now we're kind of rebranding and we're thinking about going more New Yorker style, kind of going back more into our roots, I would say.
Yeah.
Because not saying that that's not our roots, but we can relate more to that side compared to the luxury. And like me and Vanilla probably was not rocking Louis Vuitton, Gucci, all of these brands as kids. We had to make it, like you said, with no designer brand. So just trying to create, I guess, a designer brand, but not in a luxury way.
Well, you say, I think you're, when I look in your Instagram, I see that you guys have a quote that says a movement for equality, inclusiveness, and self-expression.
Yes.
So based on what you just described, that makes sense. It's accessible to all,
Yes.
and luxury brand or not, in my mind, that's the cool thing about New York style and your style, in that it's accessible, but it doesn't have to be always labeled to be luxurious and stylish on it.
Sure.
So,
Yeah, that's our goal.
so also, I also kind of want to understand who are your clients? Like, who are you appealing to? I know you're a Gen Zer, Joe, and Peniel, you're a young millennial. So,
Yes.
are you reaching across generations, like someone like me who's an Xer, or someone older, even younger than, or coming up
So,
behind you?
so
Who's your client?
that's actually a good question. But to be honest, I think it's between Joe generation and mine. To be honest, my generation is still, not to sound like your generation is not stylish. My generation is very still fashion forward. So is his. It's like we mimic each other. I feel like it is like right now, especially right now, because his generation is trying to be millennials, and and then we're like we already were this already, so we're kind of at the same beat. To be honest, if it goes to your generation, we won't mind. But right now it's between millennials and Gen Z. All right, right, Z. To be
Yeah,
honest.
that's the focus. I mean, we do want to like try to get more audiences, but to appeal for your audience, we have to kind of simple some of these designs, right? Like I saw my uncle and I was like, "Hey, you want one of these cardigans?" And he was like, "This is way too loud for me," right? Like he's like, I can't wear this anywhere. Yeah, so
Um, as you speak about your cardigan, if you don't mind, if you can stand up so people can see the
yeah,
whole
sure,
piece,
sure,
and I'll
sure. Let me see.
definitely give people
So
pictures.
definitely we'll try. We have it. We're sold out currently, but
Yeah.
we don't mind doing any restocks. But we definitely have sold out of this cardigan twice. So this is one of our most popular pieces currently.
And Peniel, is the scarf you're wearing, is that one of
Yeah,
your pieces?
the scarf is one of the pieces, and the bag.
Oh, and that's your logo. That's the logo,
Yes.
Yep.
the positive and
Yeah.
representing. And so, as part of your clients, the people you have been purchasing your brand wear, you've noticed they've been of all backgrounds, all the
Yes.
target
Yes,
group you've been going for.
yes. Yeah. That's really was my goal, and I'm happy that we have so many diversity with our customers. It's not like one type of race. We got, let me see, I think to know that one person at your job that like just randomly saw it and brought it, like that couple.
Yeah. Like one time I was just working and somebody sold the cardigan, they bought it right there. And literally I don't know them from a liquor paint.
Mm-hmm.
So it just happened that I think we got somebody from Utah.
Yep.
Like it was weird.
Michigan, you have people from Michigan.
Yeah. So it was a surprise to us, to be honest. It was just like where it went.
Mm-hmm.
But the internet, it goes around the world, and we don't ever think about it like that.
Mm-hmm.
But it does go around the world, so you never know who you get, to be honest.
And it's unique. I mean, so besides the cardigan and the scarf and the bag that you just showed, what other pieces do you guys have right now?
I don't think I have the other one on me, but we had a
I don't
t-shirt.
either.
We
I
had
don't have the t-shirt.
Oh
we
no,
have a
that's
t-shirt that is a fruit basket. And it's like a French Renaissance painting. And then we also did design a summer shirt, like a Miami Vice shirt. It was cut with these pearl buttons. I wish I had it to show y'all, but that one's actually sold.
Yes.
These are kind of all done and sold out, to
so
be
those,
honest.
but they can see that all on your Instagram.
Yeah. You
Yeah,
can definitely see all of our pieces on Instagram. Yeah, you could just check out the page. We have everything.
Okay, yeah. At the end of this episode, we'll definitely direct them, and I'll have a link and everything for everybody. So, are your pieces unisex?
Yes.
Okay.
But but our goal this year is to make them, I think, try our best to size them as unisex as possible, because me and Peniel kind of been the test models when it comes to sizing.
yes.
Mm-hmm.
Woman, we're just like size down and you should be fine, which has been working, but we're gonna try our best this year to really make those coexist.
Okay. So, so one of the things I'd like you to kind of discuss, because you guys are young entrepreneurs, young brand makers right now. What has it been? What's been the most difficult part for you in launching this new business for you? I know you come, Joe, from the tech world, while Peniel, you come from the medical world, and but you guys are true artists in spirit. And though you may have a background in other industries and businesses, what has it been a learning curve for you to be able to enter into this world, and what are, if any, what were some of the barriers that you've had to overcome?
I'll start, Peniel. Oh no, Peniel, you can start. You start.
I feel like, to be honest, I learned a lot this past 2 years. I have to say, I learned a lot. To be honest, I didn't know anything about business. So joining Joe, it was like a baby trying to walk, basically. So I had to learn every single step. So to be to for Joe, he had a higher step for me. So I was catching up, basically. So I didn't know nothing about marketing. I just know only thing I knew was design. So I didn't know marketing, internet, all that stuff. I didn't know nothing. So it was a learning curve from that standpoint because I didn't know at all. I didn't know anything. So I had to learn marketing itself. I had to learn how like getting getting merchandisers or like getting people to design the stuff or like all the steps I did not know. So I had to learn this. Right now I can say that I learned it and I know what to do if I ever had to do it myself. But if it was in the beginning, I had no idea, to be honest. And I think it was a little frustrating for Joe, but I think he understood it. Like, you don't know anything. So, okay, this is what you need to do. Watch this video. So that was my learning curve. But I enjoyed the journey. I have to say I enjoyed the journey, but it was hard because there's a lot of things behind the scenes that people don't know that you literally do every single day that you just like, okay, I don't see that, but you do this every single day. If you don't do it every day, you have to do it because your business will not flourish at all. It won't go nowhere. So it's a blessing that he taught me that I know now. But to be honest, I didn't know nothing about business at all. So it's coming from medical to like being a business owner. That was that part. That was a learning curve that I learned now that I appreciate now. What about you, Joe?
Um, it was challenging in the beginning. Just for some background, I did own a t-shirt company when I was about 16. So I kind of knew how to start a business and what to do, and they were in stores, but I never solely focused selling them online. So that was a whole nother learning curve of just learning e-commerce, and as well as, like Peniel said, I had to try to catch him up, which was also very hard too, because we already started the business. So like, it's like we're starting and like I'm teaching and managing. So it was, the challenging part was also we weren't selling just t-shirts. We were selling items that I have never made a day in my life before. I never made a cardigan before, never made a scarf before. So me and Peniel were making a lot of items that we just never done before, and we just had to like figure it out on the fly, really. And I think that was the most challenging thing because we don't come from a fashion design background. We're just creative people who just put something together.
Yeah.
So, what role do you, Joe, primarily play
So
in this team, and what does Peniel?
me primarily, I'll say, is like creative direction of the brand and some of the social media stuff. And then Peniel is on the other end where he will be handling like all the customers stuff, sending it over, as well as styling for all of our shoots, and also styling for all of our videos, putting casting together. So Peniel does a whole lot of the stuff y'all see on Instagram, really.
Yeah.
And he's the model and a lot of that stuff.
Yeah.
Instagram.
And are you the primary designer too, Peniel?
Yeah, well, I think we share
design.
design. We both design. We both design. It's not primary. Like,
Yeah.
I think we feed off of each other in that aspect. So, like, he would like, even the cardigan. It took us like, it was like both of us into it.
Yeah, because I had the idea of doing that pattern. I think Peniel had the idea of keeping it without the buttons and having, so it's same as like our bag. Like I think a lot of times our designs is usually fused, but if it's not fused, it would be like I designed this, Peniel designed the other thing.
Yeah.
Like,
Okay. So I've asked other guests in the past who are of Haitian background. One of the things I've always said is, in my opinion, Haitians are very artistic, but they don't tend to promote their children to follow artistic endeavors. And I don't know if that was your experience, but if it was, or if it wasn't, please let us know. And what made you pursue this artistic endeavor despite probably the stereotype, you must become a doctor, you must become a lawyer.
I'll start on this one. So like I said, when I was 16, I was designing t-shirts and I wanted to sell online, but you need a business license to sell online. And I remember asking my dad for if he could help me sign on the business license. And right away he was like, go study some books. Like, what are you doing here? Right? Like, go read a book. You're doing the wrong thing here. What ended up keeping me going is because I honestly believed in myself. I believe I could have did it. And when I started to do it, so many people actually came to me and I had these opportunities. I was able to pitch to different stores in Brooklyn. I was able to eventually get in the store. So I'm happy I didn't give up and didn't listen to my parents. I just kept going.
Mm-hmm.
The key takeaway from what I'm saying is to keep going. If you believe in yourself, somebody's telling you not to do it.
Mm-hmm. And you, Peniel?
You know, to be honest, it was Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
It's because I would post an outfit every single time, and somebody would be like, "Why don't you have your own stuff?" And I'd be like, I'm in the medical industry, I don't have time. And they'd be like, "So, you have a talent, use it." And for me, it was the fear of, because my mom would put it in my head like, you need something safe because business is not safe. So everything in the medical field is very safe. So in my head, it was the fear of it's not safe. You don't know it's the unknown. So during COVID, it was just like, oh, now this is what you're meant to do. Just go take a leap of faith and do it. So that's what forced me. It's basically COVID, to be honest.
Okay. I think when we were speaking earlier, I heard you, Peniel, saying something about eventually you guys have a dream of maybe opening up a factory in Haiti to make some of your brand pieces. Did I hear that correctly?
Maybe not factory, but definitely I think we would do something in Haiti for sure.
Yeah.
If that's designing pieces based off the Haitian roots and like just taking inspiration from that, or if that's just going down there and hiring a staff of people to actually design, like, or get a Haitian designer, like we're gonna figure it out, but definitely want to do a collection treating Haiti, especially that we're both from that background. It just makes sense to us. It's something we always talked about.
Yeah, and I know there are a lot of other great Haitian fashion designers out there, and potentially you guys can all collaborate, maybe have a fashion show.
Yep. That's the idea. That's like we just don't want to do one thing. It's not going to stop at one. If we do something, it's definitely going to be a lot.
Okay. So what advice would you give someone? I know you already said never stop, but based on your experiences so far, what advice would you give someone who's like you, who's very still new to the game in terms of building your own brand, building your own company? What would you advise any young entrepreneur like yourself? What would be your major advice?
And I'll let you go first.
Be patient. The first try is never the perfect try. It takes a couple of times. Trust me. That cardigan right there, 7 times. That bag right there, 5 times. So be patient. Enjoy the journey, and learn from the journey, and learn from your mistakes, because you don't try to do the same mistakes twice. But be patient and enjoy the journey, because it does humble you, because every mistake you have to redo it again, and that's money coming out of your pocket. What else? Learn as much as you do. Try to learn the business. I would say learn the business first before you get into it. It's harder when you have to do the business and learn at the same time. So learn the ins and outs, the e-commerce, like he says. It's not all about designing. It's not all about putting a print on a t-shirt. It's more into that. It's more than the marketing. It's a lot marketing, to be honest. So learn about that and then master it. Then you could go forward from there. Because if you have marketing, I think you have everything, to be honest. And yeah. What about you, Joe?
Peniel took the one I was going to say, which was patience. But I will say use your impatience as a motivation, which is a lot of times when we were starting this brand, I gave Peniel realistic goals, which was, hey, we're not going to be the biggest. We're not going to be Ralph Lauren.
Yeah.
No matter how much you want to be rich, by tomorrow we won't. But will we get this big? Will we be able to do this? Yeah. So I would say set realistic goals. Do not let social media influence your path because a lot of people like to get on Instagram and stunt, and all of it is stunting. So it's really just take your time, like Peniel said. Patience is really the game, I feel, and everything. Remember, everything is a learning experience. I started when I was 16, and all that stuff was the reason why I was able to start this brand the way I was able to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Took a lot of things. I learned a lot of things through these 2 years. So,
Okay. Um, just going back to how this company or the idea first came from the passing of George Floyd, the murder, I should say, of George Floyd, and the need, the want to spread the idea of equality and inclusiveness and expression. Um, we are at a certain period right now where diversity, equity, and inclusion is not exactly, uh, you know, praised, wanted. It's actually being vandalized a bit. Uh, with the focus of your brand being around those concepts, what is your thoughts around that? And particularly since you are focusing on your generations, which is known to be the most diverse generations in the United States thus far. What are your thoughts about that? Do you have any concerns around your brand, your business, because of that negative perception right now around diversity and inclusion?
um, yeah, I
Or,
feel like I've always, I mean, even especially now, as you're saying, it's a little bit, it's worse. But even from starting this brand, I always felt like being a black designer was kind of scary because I felt like, being a black designer, we wouldn't get that same type of attention or love for our products, or we won't get the same sales that may another different race would have gotten. So do I still sometimes believe that? Yes, which is why necessarily we try our best not to say that's not a black business, but to just promote it as an equality business instead of just saying, yeah, these are two black owners. Like we don't really like stress on that, but that's something that we don't mind sharing. But I think that's like my biggest fear. But
mm-hmm.
so
He
what about
said it.
what about you, Penel, being a black designer too?
Yeah, it's the being the black designer. It is the being black designer, but I feel like our generation are more rebellious. I could say we like. I don't think we. I don't want to say we don't care as much. It's more like we don't listen to the politics,
Yeah.
and we're doing our own thing. It's whatever. Um, is it gonna hurt us later? I don't know. To be honest, I can't tell the future. But right now, I think everybody is trying to find their way. Like whatever is going on, it's just everybody's trying to figure it out. So
Mm-hmm.
I don't I don't know where it's going right now. To be honest, like all the black brands is trying to figure out their own thing right now. Some of them are not in Target anymore, so we don't. I don't know where is it going. So to to be honest, I think it should be okay since we are online brand almost exclusively. So we should be okay. But I don't think we're exclusively only a black brand. We're just for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
So even the logo shows it. So I hope it won't hurt us as much, but we'll see. I can't tell the future, but we'll see.
Yeah. Well, that also makes me think about, thinking beyond the U.S. borders, right? I'm not sure what your reach is outside of the U.S. in terms of your customers coming in, but hopefully, if not now, in the future, near future, you're getting people going into your site, purchasing your products, your clothing, no matter what country they're from, right?
Yeah.
And countries are countries, and it's diversity, so it appeals to everyone, no matter where you are, no matter where your borders are, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
we definitely are gonna go international. We started off just doing US just because we
Mm-hmm.
never done this before, especially like shipping was figuring that out was
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
still a huge confusion. So we have had a lot of people from Europe reach out for our
Mm.
brand, that for sure. A lot from Paris, a lot from France. So I think we'll definitely start opening the doors slowly.
Yeah, and I can see that how just looking at your pieces on your site, how European people from
Yeah.
Europe would be attracted to the clothing, the pieces that you offer. So, um, so with that, I just wanted to kind of let you tell our audience exactly where they can find you guys. Like, tell us where, if they're interested in your pieces and want to see more that's coming out, where they can find you. Let them know what's next, what's coming soon. Let them know what to look for. And even if, I'm not sure if you're looking for investors or investments, but if you are, let people who might be interested in investing in your brand, let them know how to reach out to you and get into contact with you.
Right. So if you want any of our stuff, or if you like this cardigan that I'm wearing, you can find us at positivekoulors.com. So I don't know, Jessica, you can add a text for that. But as well as our Instagram would be Positive Koulours. We will have a couple things coming up. We are changing up our whole business model at the moment. So our brand is, I mean, our website is currently getting rebranded. We had a pre-order type of basis. Now we will have all of our clothing in-house, so
Yeah.
it will be in stock. What's coming up next? A lot of things are actually coming up next. We are trying to spread our message a lot better, so you'll see a lot more maybe campaigns and videos, just trying to spread that message of equality more now. We will be dropping a lot more pieces as well. We're starting out with a T-shirt that should be coming out in 2 3 months from now. Working on a bracelet, so also adding jewelry to that list, and just adding more unique pieces. So you'll see, as long as you follow us on Instagram, you will see the next thing. We will make sure to give sneak peeks.
That's
Mm-hmm.
true.
And will we see you, Peniel, styling in a lot of those videos
Of
and
course, of
Instagrams?
course, of course.
All of that.
Um, more this time. This time will be more background. To be honest,
Yes,
I
yes.
won't be as a.
So we won't
I
see
won't be a
pictures.
model on this thing. I'll be a background.
Okay, well, I mean, I definitely look forward to your pieces. This Gen Xer wouldn't mind wearing some of your pieces. so,
Finally, we got somebody.
Yeah.
so, I'm definitely looking forward. I love the inspiration behind how the brand started. I love that how you guys are incorporating your background into it, and and I look forward to seeing what's next, what's up, the next pieces. And for the rest of you guys, I want to thank you for being on this podcast, watching this podcast. I hope you enjoy it. I definitely will hope that you will watch the next coming episodes for 2025. And thank you again, and have a good evening, everybody.
Januska, before you sign off, I just want to say thank you for having me and Panel here. This was, appreciate it.
Thank you. Yes.
You are welcome. And again, I appreciate you guys spending the time on this podcast. So, Roots and Riches, everyone, and
Rich and riches.
thank you.